I'd like to call this special meeting of the Municipal Airport Authority to order for Wednesday, December 18th. The Municipal Airport Authority of the City of Fargo will meet in executive session to receive a status updates as to the mediation between the MAA and the City of Fargo as it relates to the relationship between the Airport Authority of the City of Fargo for certain services provided and paid for by the airport. The executive session will provide discussions related to negotiating relative parties' position in mediation. These discussions have financial implications, and open meeting of these discussions, strategy, and direction to the chairman or the MAA's attorney would create an adverse fiscal effect on the bargaining position of the MAA. This executive session is authorized pursuant to the North Dakota Century Code 4419-9. I'd entertain a motion to go into executive session.
Motion to go into executive session.
Seconded.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call for a roll.
Ingham. Aye. Lind.
Aye.
Clark.
Aye.
Haugen.
Aye. Okay, but before we go into recess for executive session, we have some guests who would like to address the board. Call on the mayor.
Thank you very much. First of all, I want to thank you all for your service you've done for the Airport Authority since I appointed all of you, so it's kind of my own thing in which having you guys do this position. Mediation actually going very well. Your two members that you've chosen are talking very well with us. I think we've come to a lot of understandings that we didn't have before. And one of them is communication. And Rick, you just gave me attendance at Pipcorn. It's just the communication between the city and the Airport Authority probably has not been the best the last several years. And we concur with that, and there were some suggestions that General Haugen and Virginia came up with that had to do with quarterly updates, working together a little bit more as a team and trying to resolve some of those issues to going forward. And made some commitments on both sides to try to do that going forward regardless of the negotiations. We think in good faith we've offered a variety of different things in mediation and will continue to do that. My concern with my email this morning is I was told that you have a contract with Pro Resources and that would be starting on December 30th. And the only concern I have about that is that we haven't really negotiated, or not necessarily negotiated, talked to both teams about that and what impacts that would have. So are your employees resigning their pension? Are they going into different aspects? On the pension plan, there's a new thing coming along this 30th that if we get them in grandfathered in, their multiplier is 2. If we get them after the 30th, the multiplier is 1.75. So it does make an additional change to your employees. So and I'm sure that Sean is aware of that, but there's all those little nuances. Right now, I don't know the contract that we're referencing with Blue Cross Blue Shield. We don't have that. They haven't given it to us, at least is what they're thinking, Sean, so I don't know how that's going to happen. We have COBRA recommendations we can do, but it significantly increases the individual's costs and significantly increases family costs. So we really on healthcare would like to have a transition so that's smooth. Obviously, there's usually a waiting period on a new healthcare plan, 90 days if you have an ongoing condition of so that's what we're reaching out today. Hey, let's sit down and talk, and if we are going to transition, let's figure out how to do that. You're talking about Pro Sources being that, and I think you've signed a contract, right?
Yes.
Pro Resources, yes.
Pro Resources. So, and we also would like to share that we do have we've kind of discerned what HR costs are to you, and would love to sit down and talk about that. Are we saving money or are we not? We think it's actually cheaper to use the same services we have, but we weren't made aware of there are some difficulties with HR that we've brought forth to us now, and we'd like to address those issues. And that's out of mediation. I mean, obviously that's something you'd have to sit down and talk about and say, how has it not served you the best ways you would like that to have happen? I'm just requesting, I know you're going to executive session, we feel we're making some progress in mediation. We feel there are some different ways of doing it. I would ask you, sometimes we both have to think out of the box. It may not be that we normally would do the things, but we're trying to come to something. We'd like the Airport Authority to continue to exist, and we'd like us to try to come to a solution to that problem. So tonight, as you go through those things, we talked to Stacy again today, and even in talking to Stacy, it was obvious to me there were some miscommunications on both sides, because sometimes when you get into mediation, you say this or that, and it's not clearly all of what you're defining. So there's a misunderstanding we sometimes have had, and maybe you've had it as well. John's sincere and I'm sincere. We would really like us to try to come to a resolution. I'm not saying this or nothing. I'm saying think of different options you can do. And we were told, I think you brought this analogy, it's like a divorce, a couple's divorcing, but can you put it back together? And we'd really like to put it back together. So however that works tonight, have at it. I think you're all intelligent and I picked you for that reason, and I would hope you come to a solution for this. So that's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, and I certainly agree with the communication point, and we have discussed this in mediation, how we can do better at that. And anything else? Anyone from
Mr.
on the
Chairman?
board? Yes.
As the newest member to the authority, I've been here almost 8 months, and it's a learning curve. It's a big learning curve. Perceptions prior to joining the authority, and yours may have run over the years, cursing you for what happens at the airport, planes not coming on time, de-icing. The education to many people and understanding that a lot of that's out of your control. It's controlled by the individual airlines was a eye-opener for me. And many things are, and I think that education process for me in 8 months should go to all the city commissioners and maybe many of the people in the surrounding communities that this is a very large operation. It's intricate to the community and there's a lot of interaction. But from what I've learned so far, they do a very, very good job.
We think Sean's very well renowned around the nation. We know a lot of people think great things of him. He recently got an award. So we very much value him as an employee and think he's done great work. So we really don't want to disturb that.
Yes, we provide the place. Airlines provide the service.
Yep.
So that's the way it is. And sometimes service is tied to the airport. Instead of keeping runways cleared, it's de-icing airplanes or flights on time. And that's, again, we provide the place. So
Especially January 10th, we want that de-icing to work. So.
yes, don't we all? I hope we have to have it January
Yes.
10th. Okay, very good. Thank you. Anyone else? Anything before we go into recess?
Will you be making any announcements after the executive session?
No, we're still in negotiations, so there will be, that's what we are going to discuss, and those discussions, because we are in negotiations, we won't discuss any of where we're going with it.
Comments?
No, not tonight, no, so, except we are meeting again, and we're gonna meet again tomorrow.
Yeah, we already have our own federal tax ID number. That's already done. We have our own state tax sales tax exemption done. We have our own account set up with North Dakota PERS, so existing members just need to be transferred. There's new members that will enroll into PERS if we're out of the pension plan. A lot of that work is done. Pro Resources has been absolutely fabulous to work with, and it's all ready to go. There's some signatures we'd have to get from the city for those existing members to transfer accounts. That's all very easily done. The health insurance, our employees won't pay 1 penny more than what they would pay if they stay in the system. Dave Middow and Associates has from a resource at Blue Cross that said they're willing to allow our employees to stay in the current plan if the city allows. So
There's a little confusion there, Sean,
Yeah,
so I would
and that's
just,
being sorted
Middow
out.
has called our agent and they haven't been able to cross-connect, so
Yep.
he's told you to do that, but
Yes,
we haven't heard.
and
so.
I think on the horizon is the North Dakota Insurance Reserve Fund is going to set up their own health insurance that we'd be party to in the next year. So I think we're ready, but a lot of work has been done over the last number of months. We haven't sat on our hands. We
Well, no, I
understand what
didn't
we're
think
doing.
that, but we're a week away.
Well, but
2
that's the
weeks away,
misinformation
so.
that's out there that we aren't. We're ready. There's no doubt. And our employees are looking forward to it. So.
Okay, anything else? Anyone? Very good. We'll recess and re-adjourn in executive session. We've concluded our executive session. We're back in regular session, and we discussed the items that we put out on our meeting notice as published. So, anyone have anything further? Any comments? If not, we will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn the session.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting's adjourned.